Now this is purely for fun. The values we're giving to these cars, they might be right, they might be wrong, it doesn't really matter, but first off is my 2016 Lamborghini Aventador Roadster Pirelli Edition. It has a 1 of 50 Liberty Walk limited edition wide body kit. It has a custom Rosa Acanthus paint job, and of course that $50,000 white custom interior. Now Ed valued this car at $350,000. Ed, what are you doing? $350,000, Ed, this car is priceless. Priceless. You can't put a value on this car. Obviously, all jokes aside, this car is very hard to value because it means so much to me. It's also a salvage title. This car rear-ended a police car at 4 a.m. in downtown Chicago. I have so much money, I have so much time, so much love into this car. This car is also dedicated to my dad. I will never sell this car no matter what. Honestly, Ed at $350,000, I think he's very, very close. We're gonna say $400K. Just because I love it. Now next up, my 2013 Ferrari 458 Spider with a custom Liberty Walk wide body kit, custom painted Lamborghini ad personam Viola Parsife. That's right, a Lamborghini color on a Ferrari. Now Ed valued the 458 at $250,000. He also particularly said that this color scheme with the wide body kit wasn't quite his favorite, and I could see that for a lot of Ferrari guys. It's a Lamborghini painted Ferrari with a wide body kit. Ferrari guys don't like that stuff. She sounds amazing though. Not that that necessarily enhances the value, but it makes it that much cooler. I'm gonna say $265,000. This is probably the hardest car to value in the entire fleet. This is my 2003 Lamborghini Murcielago 40th anniversary, finished in Verde Artemis. It's a gated manual transmission. If you guys know the market on manual Mercies, it is skyrocketing. Just look at this color, Verde Artemis. Lamborghini doesn't make cars like this. Would you just look at it? Now, Ed valued this car at $450,000. When it comes to Murcielagos, Ed is probably the smartest man in the entire world. He says $450, I say $450. Psych Ed, it's $600K. I'm just kidding, it's $450. Now next up is my 2020 Ram TRX. I bought this baby in Alaska. Now Ed valued it at $110,000. I think that's overvalued. I think I could get $95,000 for this. It's not for sale, it's Oscar's truck, so if you want to buy it, you're gonna have to talk to the Marshmallow. Next up, we have my 2019 Lamborghini Urus. Now, Ed valued the Urus at $250,000. You guys know, I'm trying to sell this for $300,000. I stand behind that valuation. If you get online, you look at Uruses that have more miles that aren't as nice of a spec, they're asking upwards of $300,000. This has the rear TVs, it has the rear bucket seats, it has just over 8,000 miles. It's for sale for 300 grand. On this car, the market's gonna decide, but I reckon 300K. And next up, definitely my most valuable car, maybe the most controversial car I own, my 2008 Bugatti Veyron. Now underneath the wrap, it is a gorgeous bluish silver gray. This car has 24,000 miles, which in Veyron world is a lot of miles, but it's not like unheard of. I know of a Veyron with 31,000 miles on it. I know a Veyron Vitesse with 55,000 miles on it. So it's not like it's a deal breaker and nobody's gonna touch this car. The car is also fully serviced since 2008. I have service records every single year since 2008. I've even paid for the service in 2023 that goes with the car. Now, Ed valued this car at $1.1 million. Now, Veyrons are really hard to value. We're gonna look at comparables. Last year, June 2021, Bring a Trailer 2008 Black Veyron, 8,000 miles, sold for $1,575,000. 8,000 miles, 24,000 miles. Not a direct comparison, but it's the only Veyron that's sold within the last year that I'm aware of. I'm gonna say $1,200,000. Now, would I sell this car to someone right now for $1,200,000? No, because I actually think it's worth more. There's just not a lot of comparisons. I've been wrong before, I'll be wrong again. I'm probably wrong on this, but that's what I'm going with, $1,200,000. And next up, old reliable, the winner beater, my 2012 Lamborghini Aventador. This car has 29,000 miles on it. We have done everything in this car. We put tank tracks on this. We did donuts with the doors up, with snow going in like crazy. Ed said this was worth $250,000. I don't know if there's anybody in the world that would pay $250,000 for this car, but the market is as such. I'm gonna say $249,999. And next up, the Porsche 911 964 Safari. Honestly, this is probably the hardest car to value. Ed said $200,000, and it's hard for me to argue that, but the attention to detail on this car, you gotta see it in person. There's carbon fiber everywhere. The interior is incredible. Like, no details left untouched by Kelly Moss Racing. They built, quite arguably, the best Safari Porsche in the entire world. It's got just over 58,000 miles. Now I'm selling this Safari on Bring a Trailer in a couple weeks, and I guess that'll be the true test of what the market is, because I could see some Porsche collector paying $350,000 for this. I could also see it going for 150. We're gonna say $220,000. Obviously I'm making that up on the spot because I'm not an expert, I own the car, but yeah, $220,000. And of course up next, my 2020 Jeep Gladiator Helosaurus 6x6. We have a Hellcat engine, we have 3 Curry 1-ton axles, we have 42-inch tires. Now Ed valued this at $150,000. There was a 2012 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited 6x6 that honestly wasn't that well built, that sold for $150 at Barrett-Jackson in Scottsdale. There was another Gladiator 6x6 that was pretty nice that sold for $238,000. I think mine is the nicest of the group. I'm gonna say $225,000. I think there could be a buyer on this for 250 grand, but we're gonna go conservative, 225. Now we're here at the warehouse, and up next we have my Ferrari factory race car. You guys know this car is an absolute banshee. Ed valued this at $120,000. I actually think that's an overvaluation. If somebody wants to buy this for $120, you got yourself a deal. I'm gonna say $75,000. And up next we have my 2021 Polaris RZR. First day I rolled this with 17 miles on the odometer. It's caked in mud. We're gonna say $30,000. We have my 97 Toyota Super Turbo. Ed said $100,000. Super values are through the roof. I'm gonna say $100,000. Rusty Walls is NASCAR. That's not mine. Now up next, my 2017 Nissan GTR, the bug killer. I think, Ed, this might have been your biggest miss. I know Nissan GTRs are not your thing, but a built Nissan GTR with this kind of power, we have 1,565 wheel horsepower, 1,800 crank horsepower. The market for these cars is through the roof. I guarantee, without hesitation, without doubt, I could sell this car for $190,000, maybe $200,000, maybe even more, but we're gonna stick $190,000. Now, of course, we're still missing the C8 Corvette, the Gallardo, and the Countach. So the C8 Corvette, Pandem wide body, has like 5,000 miles, really cool spec, rapid blue on blue interior. Ed appraised that at $120,000. Now, generally speaking, as cool as wide body kits are, they don't actually enhance value. Sometimes they detract from value. We're gonna say it's right about even. I'm gonna say $110,000. And of course, we have the OG, my 2006 gated Lamborghini Gallardo, being twin turbocharged at B-Rogue built. Now the car does have higher mileage, roughly 50,000 miles. Generally speaking, kind of like wide body kits, twin turbo kits don't enhance value, maybe a little bit, but probably not the money I put into the kit. I'm not gonna necessarily get out of the kit. Ed said $140,000. I think that's a very fair analysis. We're gonna stick with $140K. And last, but certainly not least, I've never even driven this car. We have my 1987 Lamborghini Countach 5000 QV white on white. Such a desirable spec. I'm so glad that I got it when I did. Now Ed valued this car at $550,000, but in the same video, John Tamarian, who's probably sold more Countaches than maybe anybody else on planet Earth, he valued the car at $720,000. Now the Countach is in Miami. It's gonna be back here in Utah so soon. We're gonna be driving that car so soon. I'm gonna say 7. John says 720, Ed says 550. Let's say 625 just because. That car someday, one day, is gonna be $1 million though. And last but certainly not least, how could we actually forget the baby Countach from Agostini? Funny enough, my 40th anniversary Murcielago, there's 50 of those in the world. The Veyron, there's 450 of those in the world. The baby Countach, it's the most rare of the entire group. There's only 20 of these in the entire world. I know this valuation, you guys will be typing away saying I'm crazy. There was one of these in the Middle East that traded for $60,000. I'm gonna say $40,000.